Joining us via Zoom right now is State Representative Jim Ellison. He is a representative from Michigan's 26th district. And Representative Ellison, my notes say that includes Royal Oak and Madison Heights. Welcome to the show. Did I get all that right?
You did indeed. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here bright and early on a Monday morning.
well, thank you very much. So this is the craziest thing I've ever done. I've been a broadcaster my whole life, and I've never sat here hand holding a microphone in my office with a computer in front of me. And I never thought I'd be doing broadcasting this way. But hey, Representative Ellison, it's amazing what's been going on. So we started this thing when the coronavirus popped out in West Bloomfield. Now it's spread across most of Oakland County. We're on 3 radio stations, a bunch of municipal television, and all over the internet. So I appreciate you taking a moment or two to talk to us today.
Hey, if you're good, I'll even give you 3.
Very good. Yeah, I like your attitude already. You're a good guy. They told me you were a good guy when we were trying to get a hold of you and book you on the show. So one of the things that's a benchmark of our program is talking to real people. We try to find out what's really going on. You can read the press releases and hear from all the big news agencies, but we like to go out and talk to real people. And here's one of them right here. One of your constituents. This is Lauren Kinnison. Hi, Lauren.
Hello, Representative.
Hi, Lauren. How are you?
She's good. She's not going to be able to hear you real well.
Oh, okay.
I think I can unplug this. Hold on. Let's see. Can you say hello to her now?
Hello, Laura. Lauren.
Hello.
I'm sorry. Hello, Lauren.
Hello. I can hear you much better this way.
Good deal.
Is that working okay, Tyler? Can you hear us both? And is everything cool? All right. Okay. So, okay, very good. Thank you. So, getting away from the broadcasting stuff, Representative Lauren used to work in downtown Detroit, and when were you laid off?
I was laid off on March 13th.
March 13th, and she is one of the hundreds of thousands, if not maybe, God forbid, millions of people in the state of Michigan who've not seen a single penny of unemployment. It is a tragedy, and I know you're aware of it, and I know you've been working on these issues. What are your thoughts?
Well, ever since this started, my legislative office and my constituent specialist, Madeline, has been dealing with calls from people. I mean, as of Friday, we've dealt with over 600 cases. She has dealt with over 600 cases. Unfortunately, we've only had successful resolution to a little over 50 because we're struggling the same as everybody else getting through the UIA. We have a few more contacts, and we do have a contact with the governor's office that'll help get us through. But my office is typical of everyone. We got 110 legislative offices, and we're all doing the same thing. Basically, what we're doing is the UIA's work, which is really starting to rub us wrong because that's not what we're up there for.
Well, and worse than that, I have over the years, because of what I do, dealt with a lot of folks that are in your capacity, Representative Ellison. And one of the things that's always been wonderful is state representatives, the people that we in the state of Michigan are closest to, have always done a wonderful job giving us access to problem solving in state government when it's been a problem. And in a normal situation, you could call your state rep if you're having an unemployment issue, and they could fix it because you have had unfettered access to state agencies. But from what my friends in Lansing tell me, that is not really the case right now. You cannot easily get to the UIA. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I think it's more than likely due to the fact that they are so understaffed. I mean, they were not prepared for being inundated with the amount of claims that they've had because of this virus. And so they were caught flat-footed. They weren't staffed up enough. They've been adding staff. They're still adding staff. We just appropriated $29 million so they can add staff. And I've heard the idea, you mentioned it earlier, about opening up the branch offices, because most of the problems we're dealing with are really mundane problems. It's lack of information. It's clarity of what it is you need or what it is you're missing. And so, although my office staff is happy to do that, the other stuff they're supposed to be doing for the other people calling in that have problems other than unemployment, they're all getting put by the wayside because this is their number one priority. So we're hoping that with an addition of staff, we can start having more people to talk to and start getting more answers. But unfortunately, I think it's going to take a bit because whoever they hire, they're going to have to train. And it's just, how long is this going to go on? We don't know. We're getting very frustrated at the legislative level.
No, and I get it, and I hope, and this is it's starting to be the dominant issue on our little old radio and television program here in Oakland County. I am seeing more of the media around the state of Michigan beginning to report this story, and that warms my heart. And I think that all of us can be helpful, even to you, Representative Ellison. But to me, I understand it's complicated. I understand that we have had more claims than ever in the history of the state of Michigan. And that was a good answer in March, and that was a good answer in April. But a lot of companies have pivoted during this period of time. I mean, for goodness sakes, the auto companies made ventilators in a shorter period of time. You would think that that the state could do something to not leave these people on the sidelines. Are you in favor of any? Is there anything else going on in Lansing to force the UIA to be more responsible, quicker, or maybe to get these offices open?
Yeah, I mean, we're all talking, amongst ourselves in the committee trying to come up with legislation, but still, they're going to boil back down to they're just not prepared to deal with the inundation. If you remember, a couple of years back, previous administration had instituted a new, swifter, more compact, more easy to use automated system that was supposed to revolutionize what we're doing. And what it ended up doing was pointing out to a lot of people and telling them that they were overpaid and they owed money. And that was that big snafu we had. And we had to go back and undo all of that and pay, pay these people back for what they lost. And that was the attempt, 4 or 5 years ago to upgrade the system. And so we're almost back to square one again, and to get hit with this kind of claims action in this time is tough. And I'm not going to make excuses for the UIA. I mean, they should be constantly working on getting their systems up, getting their people trained, and getting ready to go. Because again, I and a lot of my colleagues are just getting really, really upset that this is what we're doing and we shouldn't be doing it. And the UIA in some cases say, well, you just do this for your clients, and we'll facilitate conversation, but if you just return a phone call, that would help immensely too.
No, I get it. We're on the same side of this issue, and
Yeah.
I am in no way picking on you, Jim Ellison. You're a good guy. Everyone has told me that, and I really appreciate you taking time to answer these questions for people like Lauren here, who, Lauren hasn't had a paycheck since March, and I don't know how people could survive that way. And if she was the only one, it would be a difference. But we just have Bill Bertakis in West Bloomfield, and we could do this entire show 24 hours a day talking to people that have not received their unemployment claims. Then, to add insult to injury, we have all this fraud going on. And so the state decides when there's fraud to turn off about 400,000 unemployment checks. I see you cracking up. To me, that is that is the exact opposite of what should be happening, Representative Ellison.
Yeah, it's kind of like the UIA says, we have a problem, so we're going to stop paying you.
Right.
And and so, until we fix our problem, you don't get any money. And that, to me, that is the exact opposite. They should have stepped up all kinds of efforts to filter out the legitimate claims from these so-called bad claims, and and keep people going. I mean, in my younger years, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but in my earlier years, I mean, I went through a situation of being laid off and relying on unemployment, and when that check doesn't show up, yeah, it is your own personal crisis, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so I'm able to relay a lot of that with my staff when we talk about it, what we can do, that this is real. And these are not just people calling up on the phone. They're just not people complaining about the UIA. It's people that need this money to pay their bills.
If I was a cynical person, which of course anyone who knows me will suggest I'm not. If I was a cynical person, I might suggest this was intentional. It's so bad that it almost feels like, well, the state's kind of short on cash, so we're going to do everything we can to not send out unemployment checks. Can you reassure me that is really what's not going on?
No, that's not the case. I mean, like I said, we just gave another $29 million to them, and they've got the money. A lot of the stimulus is coming from the federal money, and it's not a case. The state has got its own definite financial problems coming up. We're going to deal with that in the budget, but that's separate from the COVID-19 crisis we've got. UIA has the money. They just, again, and trying to allocate it and get it out to the proper people in the proper amounts is just something I think they're not up to speed yet.
All right. Well, we wish him the best of luck in getting this together. I empathize with the challenges your office is having dealing with all of this. We're going to keep doing what we can. We did connect with the amazing Rachel Cole, who is the director of Workers' Rights Clinic at the University of Michigan Law School. They have a fantastic program there, and I advise people listening if they, and Jim, I know, excuse me, Representative Ellison,
Jim
I
is fine.
know, okay, I know that you don't want to deal with this, but if your constituents are having problems, I'm sure you welcome their calls. Is that correct?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's not that we don't want to deal with it because our job is to help our constituency. And right now, this is the biggest crisis they have. And I'm more than willing. We'll do this for as long as we got. Like I say, we've got
Good.
600 claims in the queue. Lauren, I hope you're one of them if we're working to try to solve you. But but yeah, it's not that we don't want to do it. We want to do whatever we can for our constituency. What
All
I'm
right.
saying is there's a lot of stuff that we do that is not getting done because I don't have enough staff to do it. I got two
I get
staff
it.
people, and so we're doing the best we can. It's not a case of me not wanting to do it. I just don't think as state representative offices, we should be doing the UIA's work.
No, you shouldn't. I so appreciate. I'm going to quote you on that every day because I think that is really well said. You shouldn't, but so we're going to make sure that you and Lauren are connected. Jim meet Lauren, Lauren meet Jim. So we'll make sure that you're connected. And then again, I want to remind people: call Rachel Cole at the University of Michigan. She knows the director of the UIA directly. It's another agency that can help you out. They do it for free, and they will try and help you out. And keep in touch with our show if you want. We'll do anything we can, but something has to give here. It's not fair, and we hope it goes well. Can I ask you one final question about this issue, and then I want to talk about one other thing real quick, Representative Ellison. This is not a political show, but I can't imagine that this is an issue that the legislature is divided over. It doesn't seem to be the kind of thing that Democrats or Republicans would fight about. Am I assessing that correctly?
Well, if you're talking about UIA and unemployment issues, yes, I would agree with you.
All right.
We're all focused on getting people their money because their constituents are suffering just like my constituents are. But if you're talking about the whole pandemic and how things have been doing, and we're very divided. And
Absolutely. And we don't have enough time in today's show to get into that. I will give you an opportunity, though. And I know there are a lot of people that are ticked off of the governor because they own a power boat. And at one point, you could drive a sailboat, but you couldn't drive a powerboat. We can go through all those things. The fights go on right in your neighborhood. Paul Glantz tried to open up his movie theater on Friday, and the state said no. There's still battles going on. It looks like gyms are going to be open on Thursday due to a federal lawsuit. We can go back and forth and all that. But as I look at the COVID-19 numbers today, say what you will about the execution and the way that she did this or that. But you know what? The governor deserves an awful lot of credit. We have the lowest numbers in the state of Michigan right now.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's what we're banking on. You may not have liked how she did it or what she did, but the reality is she did it and the numbers are down. And we're one of the best in the country because she stuck to her guns. And in the face of a lot of criticism, I mean, to the point we had protests up on Capitol steps with guys with long rifles pulling out, jumping into our cap, and just, there people were upset, and she stuck to her guns, and we're still going through it. And, our biggest fear right now is the resurgence, wave of new cases. And there's a lot of things happening, with the opening of restaurants here last week. We're all, you got to wait about 2 weeks and see if the numbers start creeping up. And you brought up the sailboat versus powerboat. Well, part of that has to do with the fact that a sailboat usually is a smaller vessel, a couple people on there. But you get into a powerboat, you're talking pontoon boats on the lake, and you're having a party. And that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to avoid of spreading the virus.
I appreciate your comments, and that's well intended. However, it would be inappropriate for me to not challenge that. I was in Charlevoix over the weekend. Man, I saw some huge sailboats up there. So listen, I wouldn't have wanted her job. She did the best that she could. And there's anyone who's going to be in that role saying yes, no, yes, no, you're going to tick some people off. So I give her the benefit of the doubt on it.
And I will say this: she kept the legislature, at least from my perspective, some will disagree, but she kept us in the loop. And the lines of communication between at least my Democratic caucus and her was always open. And I know that she talked to Republican leadership a lot to let them know that this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm planning on doing, and if we can open up stuff sooner, then that's what we're going to do. But she still was relying on the numbers to prove it. And so she was able to open up the restaurant opening a little bit sooner, and other stuff happening a little bit sooner. I mean, we want to get the state back on track immediately because that
Well, I hope that communities like Royal Oak and Ferndale and Rochester and all these in downtown Detroit, all these areas in Birmingham that have these great downtown districts, and people go out, they act responsibly. I can't wait to see some of the innovation of the restaurants under the new rules that are coming out of the state to people outside. It could be a lot of fun. I mean, we got a lot of summer ahead of us. One final question, Representative Ellison. Do you think we're gonna have arts, beats, and eats in your district this summer?
In its previous configuration, no, we're not. It's not. We can't afford anything that big. Now the promoter is telling us he's looking at ideas for smaller gatherings, more spread out. We haven't seen those yet. I would like to see the event happen, but not at the expense of spreading disease.
All right.
And so, we're almost at the state where it's just, okay, 2020 is canceled. Let's just skip it. We're going to 2021 and start over again, because not only is it Arts, Beats, and Eats, but the Dream Cruise. They've shut the official functions of the Dream Cruise down. We're still going to have cars driving out there.
Oh,
yeah. There won't be any sponsor displays on the side of the road, and we're going to do our best to try to keep that. I mean, this pandemic is real. And a lot of people don't want to accept it as real. And, I don't go out of the house without my mask on. I'm a 60-year-old diabetic. So, I'm in high risk, and I'm not going to take a chance with my health or bringing something back and contaminate my family. And that's just, but, people look at me sometimes and say, why are you wearing your mask? And I'm saying, protect you, because that's really what it's doing. And they don't understand that. I don't need a mask to keep myself safe. Well, I can't disagree with that. But if you want to keep me safe, wear your mask.
Wear the masks. Representative, you're a good guy. Thanks for taking our questions on a difficult day with difficult issues. Very good to know you now virtually, and I look forward to meeting you in person when we have a better day ahead of us. And by the way, I'm doing my part. So the state hasn't sent her a check, but I hired her, so she got it.
Well, good. Yeah, you got part-time. Well, let me offer this, Lauren. If you have not contacted my office, or if you need an update, send an email to Jim Ellison at house.mi.gov, or call the office 517-373-3818. And Madeline Abernathy is just spectacular on this, and hopefully Maddie can take care of you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I will do that today. Thank you.
Good deal.
And that goes too, Jim, for everybody else too.
Yes, absolutely.
In your district, and I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Good to be with you. Thank you very much.
Lauren. Lauren just disappeared off my picture.
Yeah, I know. There she is.
There she is.
She's more. People care about you. They don't care about me. All right.
Okay,
thank you, Representative.
Thank you very much.
We will keep in touch. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime. Give me a call.